Om. Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame. Om Sri Aurobindo Mira is my refuge. Namaste, Vande Mataram, good evening, welcome all of you. The topic of this evening's discussion will be based on experiences of the inner consciousness. The topic, beautiful topic, the glorious topic we are going to discuss now. This is experiences of the inner consciousness. And we'll discuss everything from the writings of Sri Aurobindo. Many questions as answered by Sri Aurobindo. From that, very few quotations we'll find here in our brief discussion now. Sri Aurobindo quotes in the very interestingly Sri Aurobindo quotes with his own style, of course. The piercing of the vital between the outer consciousness and the inner being is one of the crucial moment in the yoga. Very interesting. So Sri Aurobindo quotes, for yoga means union with the divine. That is the great definition. The definition of truth. For yoga means the union with the divine, but it is also means the awakening, awaking fast to your inner self and then your higher life. Everything concerned, that is your introvertness to the inner opening and the higher consciousness, that psychic being. These are the major these take the major role in this yoga, of course. A movement inward and a movement upward. These are the great two things: a movement inward and a movement outward, upward. It is in fact only through the awakening and the coming to the front of the inner being that yoga can get with the union with the divine. The outer physical man is only an instrumental personality. The outer magical man is only an instrumental personality, and by himself he can't arrive at the union. He can only get occasional touches, religious feelings. These are the outer man only, outer physical man. Get religious feelings, imperfect intimations, and even those these come not from the outer consciousness, but from the what is within us. Anyway, these are the things. We'll take couple of this thing quotings as quoted by Sri Aurobindo. Very beautiful quotations. It is. We'll see. It is on the surface that the transformation is done. It is on the surface that the transformation is done. One comes up to the surface with what one has gained in the depths to change it. From the depths, it is coming to the surface, and on the surface only the transformation takes place. It may be your need to go in again and find it difficult to make the movement back quickly. When the whole being becomes plastic, you will be able to make whatever movement is needed more quickly. So, Sharminda, of course, it is the requirement of time. It needs time. It takes time, of course, to make transition from one state to of consciousness to another. The depth of feeling will come more and more as your consciousness draws back from the claim of external things and goes deeper into the heart region, seeing and feeling from there. The psychic will be to prompt and enlighten it. So emergence, it goes deep into the go very deep within to get the touch and feeling of the psychic. That experience is a major thing. So here during the course, your faith is also will increase with that moment. The faith initially is there, so with the faith we are coming, but as we are going deep within touching the psychic level, faith will increase with the moment, and for it is the outer intellect that is infirm. Outer intellect that is infirm or deficient in faith. Outer is infirm or deficient in the faith, but the inner being in the heart has it always, that the faith is there. So here in the course about the inner consciousness, that the faith, that deep faith. So next we'll go for that another thing. And all experience come in the silence. All experience come in the silence, but they don't come all pell-mell in the crowd of the at the beginning. Very rare, very small, very thin. The inner silence and the peace of has to be established. That is the major condition. That is the most important thing. The occurrence of the images is a sign that are opening and to inhabit them would mean to inhabit the expansion of the consciousness and experience without which this yoga can't be done. That experience, that symbol, that factor, that expression, these are the most requirement for this yoga. So a very to share in the course again, the difficulty indicated by you is the in your letter indicates that you enter into the inner being and begin to have experiences there, but there is difficulty in organizing them and seeing them coherently. The difficulty is because inner mind is not yet sufficiently habituated to act and see the inside things. The inner mind that is unprepared till now, that has to be prepared, and therefore the ordinary outer mind interferes and tries to arrange them there. So it is the interference of outer mind. Inner mind is not that much prepared, but the outer mind is unable to see the meaning of the inner things. That is the major problem, for there is a tussle. When the outer mind is left outside altogether, the things inside begin to be seen vividly and clearly. Everything we have to go with the see and with the inner mind, that is better. That is the only way. But the inner mind not being active till now, either their coherence is not seen or the consciousness lingers in the confused experiences of the lower vital plane and does not get enough to be to the deeper or more coherent and significant experience. So that is the major thing. It is there. So what we have to do, the development will take place if during the course the mother's force will do as needed. Mother's force is actually it is required. With the mother force something will can be done. So, here in the course again, owing to the development of the inner consciousness, you are able to understand what contacts are and get the true contact. That is with the development of the inner consciousness, and that has been done to some extent. If it is done, you can be able to know the true contact. But at times, the external consciousness is more stronger than the inner one. Most of the cases, not in most of the cases, the external consciousness is stronger. So then you are no longer able to get the contact. That is the problem here. We see the outer beings here in the course, the outer being, mind, vital, physical, has now become capable of quietude. This is a good sign, and it gets meditation in a free, happy, vacant quietude. This is another good sign, which is the first step towards true consciousness. That is the quietude, that silence is the very essential and helpful instruments in the progress. The inner being, inner mind, vital and physicals are not lost but gone inside. The outer does not know where, but probably gone inside into the union with the psychic. The only thing that can have gone for something of the old nature, that is standing on the way of the experience. Again we'll little bit be pushed forward. Here in the course, the cosmic consciousness, about the thing about the topic we are going to discuss here, here in the course here. The cosmic consciousness does not belong to overmind in the in special. It covers all the planes. About the cosmic consciousness does not belong to the overmind in the in special. It covers all planes. Man is shut up at present in this surface individual consciousness. Already almost it is shut up, encased. It lives in that consciousness and knows the world rather than the surface of it, only through the outward mind and the senses, and by the interpreting their contacts with the world. By yoga, how it is the yoga helpful, and what is the in the field of yoga, how we can go. In yoga, there can open in him a consciousness which becomes one with that of the world. This is the actually streamlining the things. We are moving, pushing forward towards the cosmic consciousness to the of the world. He becomes directly aware of the universal being, universal states, universal forces and powers, universal mind, life, matter, and lives in the consciousness relation with these things. So he is pushing forward toward getting universe, touch the universality. And he is then said to have cosmic consciousness. If the touch is there, if he is spreading, if he is touching, if he is living in that consciousness, and then he is said to be to have cosmic consciousness. Against here in the course of the overmind, the overmind is the basis of the total cosmic consciousness. The overmind is the basic of the total cosmic consciousness, but the cosmic consciousness itself can be felt on any plane, not only in the above mind or in the mind or life and matter. It can be experienced throughout and everywhere. It is a very vast thing. So there are in the cosmic consciousness two sides, or two sides we can find in the cosmic consciousness. One is contact with and the perception of the ordinary consciousness, conscious force, and beings behind these forces. That is to the cosmic ignorance. The other one, the second one, is perception of the cosmic truth, the realization of the one universe, the one universal force, the one Vedantic truth, the one in all and all in one, all the various aspects of the divine in the cosmic and the host of other things can do help to from the realization and the knowledge, provided they are taken in the right way. So these are the two things here in the course here, the two sides. However, all that can be best dealt with it actually comes. It does not always come soon in the, there is an widening. Many pass through the widening of the consciousness to what is beyond the cosmic, and takes the cosmic in detail afterwards, and perhaps the safest order. Then Sri Aurobindo comes to the next thing. Everything acts in the self. The whole play of the nature can take place in the self, in the divine. Everything is confined, centered around, and centering around the divine. The self contains the universe, and the self contains the universe. The self, again Sri Aurobindo, all is in the self. When identified with the universal self, all is in you. Also the microsome reproduces the macrosome, so all is present in each, everywhere it is there, and that is here inside it, though all is not expressed in the surface consciousness. Then during the course, the self is being, not a being. By self is meant the conscious essential extension one of the all. The original substance during the course of all spirit is pure existence, everything in it, pure self-existence consciousness, the conscious force. Then and the pure self-existence ananda. Substance and being are the same thing. Here in the course, substance and being are the one thing, same thing. In the creation, they can be looked upon the two aspects of the spirit. Then, here in the after little after, your usual experience of the impersonal. The usual experience of the impersonal is that it is everywhere without form or limitation in any place and time. The impersonal divine, again Sri Aurobindo puts it and puts it in the right way in his own time. The impersonal divine has also abode and can't have. It is all pervading. If anybody says the impersonal divine has its abode in the heart, he can be asked what he means by the impersonal divine is. Then we'll come to the limitation. Liberation is the first necessity. So to live in the place peace, silence, purity, freedom of the self, these are the most requirement what is there. So liberation, for the liberation here in the course, it is very good. The widening of the consciousness is so as to be at one with the universal infinity is the important stage of the sadhana as here in the course. So these are the requirement and the experiences in that consciousness.